Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a quick video on how to bling a license plate frame. I got this from Amazon, and to prep it, we're going to take all the shine off of the areas that we're going to be applying adhesive to. This is a metal license plate frame and it's got this chrome finish to it. So I'm using 120 grit sandpaper and I'm just going to sand all the areas I'll be applying adhesive to. Once I'm done with my sanding, I'm going to clean this up with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel, and now I'm ready to start preparing my adhesive. Really quick though, we want to make sure that we trace around the screw cap things with a Sharpie marker. This will prevent us from applying any epoxy or rhinestones to where these will go later. It'll prevent them from going on properly, so make sure you pay attention to that. I'm mixing up 10 milliliters of my Flynn Sisters Fast Cure Epoxy today, and that's what I'm going to use to adhere my rhinestones. This is a very fast curing epoxy, so I'm going to be mindful about the amount that I'm mixing and the amount that I'm covering on the frame, in that I'll be able to finish rhinestoning it in the time before my pot life runs out. So you have about 30 to 45 minutes of pot life with this epoxy. So make sure that you're not covering an area too large, that you'll run out of time before it starts to dry, before you get the rhinestones stuck on. I hope all that makes sense. And I'm just applying the epoxy with an old paintbrush. You'll notice that I added some glitter to it. You don't want to add too much glitter, that it would change the texture of the epoxy and prevent good adhesion. But you also don't want too little, that you won't be able to see it should it poke through any of the spaces that we might have with our rhinestones. I'm also, of course, avoiding the area where the screw cap will go, where I traced out earlier. I'm painting on a very light, even coat. I want to avoid any kind of pooling, or enough to where if I place the stone, it would roll off or drip. That lets me know I've applied too much. So we want to apply enough that the stones are going to adhere, but we don't want to apply too much that they're going to be moving around and it's going to be messy and just rolling off the frame. So once I have that applied to a section that I'm confident with, in that I will stone it in time of my time frame, I'm going to just start applying my rhinestones with a wax pencil. You can also find these wax pencils on my website, FlynnSistersSupplyShop.com, along with these rhinestones. Today I'm using a Milli FS exclusive mix, along with Crystal AB scatter mix. I'm applying these in a scatter method application, I guess you would call it. No real rhyme or reason here. A Milli is a rhinestone mix that has a bunch of different shapes to it, and they're larger shapes, so you get a lot of sparkle. This also lets me finish the piece a lot quicker because they're bigger pieces, so I was able to finish this whole section in about 25 minutes. I didn't try and tackle the whole license plate all at once because I wasn't confident that I would be able to apply all of the stones before that resin started to dry. I'm going to let this dry for a few hours before I move on to the next side. Remember that your dry times may vary based on the type and brand of epoxy that you're using. I'm going to clean off the other side really quick with some rubbing alcohol, just to make sure there's no debris that was there after the application from the first half. And then we're going to apply this epoxy the same way that we applied it the first time. I mixed just 10 milliliters this time and added a little bit of the glitter. And then we're applying it with our paintbrush, coming right up against where we left off for the first section. Once I've applied my epoxy to the amount of section that I want to complete within that time frame, I just went to town. I actually just finished the whole other half in this one sitting, and it was 25 minutes again. So this was less than an hour really of hands-on time with prep and everything else to get it finished. And then I wanted to move on to the little screw caps. I didn't want to leave those chrome, so using a nail file, I'm just going to scuff up the front of them where I'll be applying the rhinestones. And then I'm going to use some liquid fusion adhesive that I've put into an 18 gauge blunt tip syringe needle. I wanted to use liquid fusion adhesive for the screw caps because they're actually plastic, they're not metal, so this adhesive is going to work just fine for this. And I'm going to use that same rhinestone mix that we used for the frame. and let these dry overnight. It's important that we let all of these adhesives fully cure before I install this onto my vehicle outside and expose everything to the elements. So pay attention to what your cure times are for your adhesives and the epoxy that you're using for your project, and ensure that it is fully cured. For this fast cure epoxy, it's 24 hours for a full cure, and I believe liquid fusion is about 24 hours for a full cure as well. However, I didn't want to take any chances, and I did let these cure for a full 72 hours before installing this into my vehicle. If you wanted to use a different base color instead of just the plain silver, you would prep the license plate frame exactly how we did in the beginning of the video, and then you could spray paint it whatever color you want. I would definitely recommend using a spray paint that has a primer built in. That would be ideal color for a project like this, since this is going to be used outside and on your car. But that's it. Once I was done and this set inside for 72 hours to cure, I installed it on my car just like the instructions said to. It went on perfectly, and then I polished those stones up with a clean microfiber cloth, and we were done. I love how this turned out. Let me know what you guys think if you've done your own license plate frame. It's a fun and quick project and a great way to use up some of those extra stones that you might have laying around. Thanks so much for watching my video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. We upload new videos every week. I hope to see you guys again real soon. If you love that last video, you can check out the next one here, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more great content. You can shop our products at FlynnSistersSupplyShop.com and subscribe to our channel for new videos every week. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.